What's up, everyone? Good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of BlockHash Exploring the Blockchain, episode 318. Today, we have Vy Pham, the CEO and co-founder of RGI, Robo Global Investments, to talk about everything they are doing in terms of building out one hell of an ecosystem in the crypto and blockchain space. Vy, thank you for taking the time to come on the show. Really appreciate it. How are you doing today?
Right. Thank you very much, Brandon, and the podcast for hosting us today, and really an honor and I appreciate your time. Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. It's sunny weather here in LA, California, for the first time.
Absolutely happy to have you here. Pleasure as always. Before we jump in and start talking about RGI, let's give people a little bit of information about yourself. Can you tell us a bit more about your background, maybe where you're from? You mentioned Singapore. Now you're in the US. What's your story?
Right. I think I kind of like have a very good opportunity in the past when was born in Vietnam and moved to Singapore when I was 15. And after spending 15 years being in Singapore, studying and working in the oil and gas industry at the traders, and eventually working as in tech sales, the last 8 years of my career, before moving and becoming a full-time developer basically at RGI. So yeah, and I recently moved to United States, I think about 2 years ago. So I think that with a diversified background and a kind of like cultural background, like a country like in Singapore, then I think those skill set have really helpful in growing a community like the one at Robo Global Investment.
What was your first experience with crypto and blockchain? Did you invest in Bitcoin like most people? Did you see like an opportunity to build something in the space originally? What was your point of origin that made you interested about this space and wanted you to be a part of it?
Yeah, I think thank you for the questions. I think it's very interesting that you brought up this topic. How I started in the crypto space. So I got to know about cryptocurrency, basically Bitcoin, right? That's what most of the people know about. In 20, I think 20 early 2017, 2016 during that time, and I read the white paper of Bitcoin and kind of like impressed about how everything is just on the blockchains, and you just store everything on the ledgers or even on the wallet, and slowly understanding about like a token like Polkadot or chaining, and really reap a lot of money from from that small amount of investment. Let's say for example $1,000, and you really gain like 5,000, 6,000. So that really give me the excitement, and also the what we call the opportunity that I see as an oil and gas trader in the industry. So that's how I started deep diving into different ecosystem, different blockchains, and also understanding the utility behind each token. And then and then the rise of Dogecoin and also Shiba Inu. I remember that I bought Dogecoin at that time is 0.016, and it went all the way to 0.75. That it just based on Elon's tweet, and it just skyrocketed without any utility behind. So that is kind of like impressive, and that's how it does. I just feel that wow, crypto space has a lot of potential, not just beside making life-changing money, but also the opportunity to connect with the people on the internet. When you actually look at Dogecoin on Twitter, so many people are just crazy talking about Dogecoin. It's just everywhere. So I think that is how I come into the crypto space as a trader, investor, and then eventually I was part of the founding team of NFT Books, one of the NFT in education and publishing after being in the space for about 2 years. So that it was in early in 2019. And then during the period of time, I was also, a kind of original CEO of the Saitama token. At the moment right now, I mean, during the time, I was just happy and doing that without any like visions in further. It's just part of the community leader drafting the white paper and how to build the community from 0 to 1. And I just really enjoy those feelings. But of course, during the time I was based in Singapore, of course, and yeah, so I think that is just about the experience of being in the crypto space as a part-time developer before really transitioning into a full-time position last year.
That's awesome. No, it's really cool. You made a good point about connecting with people and networking in the space. I think community is something that's very unique to blockchain that is not as prevalent, I think, in other technologies. It makes this space more lively and far more interesting, and hence you get things like Dogecoin and Shiba and now Robo Inu and what you guys are doing. Tell me a bit more about Robo Global Investments, RGI. When did you guys start it? Who are your partners? What's the goal?
Right. I think the reason why the token was named as a Robo Inu Finance and then it under the umbrella of Robo Global Investment, because we thought that like for example Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, but then we don't know who is the people that running behind it, right? And so the risk and also the disadvantage of the investor, perhaps it's going to give them a lot of skepticism where whether they want to invest into a token. And that's how we actually came up with an idea that we want to register Robo Global Investment under a country where legislations or regulations are being restricted in certain way, and also the government also supporting cryptocurrency or even a Web3 related company. So that's why we registered company under Singapore law. And then Robo Inu Finance is just one of the project that being spearheaded by us, because maybe in the future if we manage to accomplish the entire ecosystem of Robo Inu Finance, then maybe there will be a chance that we're going to expand this into another token, or but that is going to be a different thing. But then we just want to tie down everything under one umbrella, which is Robo Global Investment.
Got it. Understood. So under that umbrella for Robo Global Investments, or RGI, are you guys mainly focusing on the token and building an ecosystem around that as of right now? Or do you have other products and use cases that you're working on? Like what makes up that slate for you of use cases under RGI?
Yeah. So I think that a lot of community members, actually you brought up a very good question, because a lot of community members or even potential investors keep asking us that what exactly that make us different from other meme token or even another top token. So the answer is very simple, because we whether I or you, we come to in the crypto space, we often talk about making money, right? Making a massive gain, right? So that is how the Dogecoin or the Shiba Inu actually changed many people's life, and that is one of the key missions that we talk about, and that's how our slogan came from, is the journey to financial freedom. So then the ecosystem behind Robo Inu Finance, we are currently building a Robo Wallet and Robo Exchange. So this Robo wallets, how different it is, it's just quite similar to any crypto wallets like MetaMask wallet or Coinbase wallet or even Trust wallet. But how is it going to be different? Because we realize that there is a big gap between cryptocurrency and non-cryptocurrency. So we are trying to bridge these two gaps by bringing the people who are not crypto savvy can use this wallet as well. Like let's say for example, they can use our wallet to go for shopping and receive a certain cash back on Shopify or even on Amazon, and this kind of cash back, it not in terms of dollars and cents, but rather in RBIF token, which is Robo Inu Finance token, right? And then this wallet also, of course, it has the ability of saving and also swap swapping and like any type of crypto wallets. But on top of that, we just want to add the utility as a non-crypto perspective so that people can have everything in one platform, which is one applications. And the reason why we also have a Robo Exchange, initially we didn't think about it, but during the part of a development, there's so many exchange out there, like the DEX, decentralized exchange, like Uniswap or QuickSwap or even a PancakeSwap, and we felt the inconvenience of using those platforms because users have to pay for a certain fee to use those. So that's the reason why Robo Exchange came about, because the mission is just to, since we have a wallet, so the user can actually use our Robo Exchange with a limit order. Whether if you want to order, let's say, for example, Ethereum at 1700 rather than 1740, then you can do so on the exchange. But then so that is the idea behind. And because we also want to connect the entire ecosystem between the Robo Exchange and also the Robo Wallet. So these are the two key main products that we are currently on testnet right now, which I can think that hopefully we can go mainnet by the end of Q2.
Wow, it sounds like you guys are working on quite a lot. What do you imagine Robo Wallet kind of evolving into over time? Do you think it could be like a DeFi type wallet potentially, where you could do a lot of swaps between other tokens, whether it's within your guys' ecosystem or outside the ecosystem? Or how do you want it to grow from here so that there's more potential tools for it?
Yeah, exactly. So you spot on with that one. So basically, swapping a different kind of token. So the key thing, the main ideas here is to make it easier for user. Because let's say for example you are using a MetaMask wallet or even a what we call a MetaMask wallet or Coinbase wallet, then probably you got to switch to different network. Like let's say for example you have to change manually from Ethereum to what we call a BSC, for example, or maybe or Aves or Solana, for example. So our wallet, we aim to to try kind of like whether or not it's just at the fingertip and people are able to swap a different chain, not just have to go and manually change, or you have to go to setting and adjust the chain. So it's kind of like complicated. So that is from the decentralized finance perspective. But of course, non-DeFi, where we trying to to bridge the gap, like what I mentioned earlier, from the non-crypto space perspective, because nowadays there's a lot of successful startup back in Asia, like especially in Singapore, where I come from. I'm very successful in the traditional banking business. So we are trying to bridge these two gaps because we realize that millennials are very crypto savvy, but the older generation, they are not so. So by doing so, I think that bridging those two gaps, then the people maybe become more aware of actually Bitcoin or cryptocurrency actually not a scam.
Absolutely. Where would you say, the majority of your guys' community is? Is it in Singapore still? Do you have quite an audience there, or is that building up in the US? How would you say that's kind of dividing itself?
Actually we did a study. So basically at the moment right now our community kind of like they scatter around, but a majority like based in the US and Europe and also from UK. So that is where we actually plan to scale our community as well. Because I don't know, but growing up in Asia, but I have been working in a multinational company in the past and communicating with the people, with the teammate coming across Europe, the US or Latin America. So it's kind of like give me the idea that these people are more vocal comparing to the Asian market. But however, I do believe that the Asian market like Singapore, Japan, now or even Vietnam, where I come from, it actually a cryptocurrency hub or what we call Web3 space, where a lot of companies are actually trying to open an office there. So but then again, we trying to scale from the from the US side and then going back to Asia, where is our hub there, because everything is come down to community.
Absolutely. Another question in terms of, getting more into decentralized finance, looking at like the two biggest meme coins in the world, Dogecoin and Shiba, for example, started off as just meme coins and then garnered such a large community over time through their excitement and price increases and all of that, that they've been able to transition that into actual utility and build out real blockchains, to the point you could argue, maybe Dogecoin and Shiba aren't just meme coins anymore. Dogecoin getting into NFTs and the metaverse, and Shiba launching Shibarium as of recently.
Yeah.
How do you guys see you doing the same thing with RoboInu and, RGI more broadly? Like, what areas of DeFi do you want to get into? Like we talked about the wallet, for example, is one. What are some other areas that maybe excite you guys or that you're working on?
Right. I think there's something that we has been trying to understand, and also understand the ecosystem, because at the end of the day, we're trying to promote the community spirit, and this community as part of the decisions in making a say in the entire ecosystem. So as I mentioned earlier, that we focus a lot on the fintech side of the of the business. At the same time, we also have a launchpad where RoboLaunchpad, where we act as an incubator to launch a new products, and to make sure that the team behind all this launchpad kind of like legitimate, and have enough expertise to kind of like to launch a certain token. And then from there, our community, they can have an early access into this project. But with that being said, I think that whether like what Doge and Shiba Inu are doing, I mean, they are already very successful in what they are doing. So what we are trying to do here is that we have one type of product we call Robo DAO in our ecosystem, because I believe that whatever that we do, we put our community at the center of focus. That was when a Robo DAO come into the pictures. That okay, let's say for example, when we launch our wallets, or even a Robo Exchange, or even a Robo Launchpad, then the community, when they hold the token, they will be able to vote and do kind of like proposal. Okay, how are they planning or intending to kind of like to expand the ecosystem, or even they can even take part in developing a certain part of the ecosystem using the similar concept as a Robo DAO, as long as they are holding the token. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, that does. No, the DAO sounds very interesting as well. And I saw stuff about the Launchpad too. Is that an opportunity for you guys to also invest into other projects, maybe that are well aligned with either RoboInu or RGI more broadly too?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think that I strongly, coming from a sales background, I think that I strongly believe that by working by partnerships and collaborations, and how each ecosystem support one another. Let's say for example, right now we focus a lot on the fintech side of the DeFi. Maybe there will be something that may be useful and helpful to the community for, like for example, education, because I think whatever we do, even in the school nowadays, they don't share a lot about education. But I do understand that a certain token that talk about education, talking about publishing. So all this real utility behind that, it could be very helpful for our ecosystem and our holders, because they have an access to something that they haven't experienced it before, but it also a blockchain related, and also still within the DeFi space.
Awesome. Another interesting question that actually just kind of came to mind is your tokenomics. I was looking at that as well. You guys have a lot of tokens out there. There's a lot of theories on how tokenomics kind of work within the cryptocurrency space, and some are valid and some aren't valid. Curious how your guys' ecosystem works and how you designed your tokenomics around RoboInu, and
Right.
how you imagine that playing into not just the price, but encouraging people to be involved in the ecosystem, using the token, holding the token, whether it's for value or utility. Can you talk about, just overall what the tokenomics model is for you guys?
Right. I think a lot of people, when they started researching about our token, or even when they started, already invested into the token, they started complaining, or they started, making a comments where, this token, Robo Inu Finance, you guys have a whole lot of supply. How are you gonna hit the market cap of Shiba Inu or Dogecoin? But as I say, the intentions of why it have a such supply is because for people to come in and make money, right? Because initially, eventually, when we come into any type of investment, whether it's stock, real estate, or crypto, it's all about money making, right? So that is how the supply come into the explanation, because it's really low in market cap. Then the people have an opportunity to purchase many token at the lower price, and then when it hit a certain milestone, we're gonna adjust that later. But in terms of the tokenomics, we have like 4% of the buying tax and 10% of the selling tax. So the reason I'm kind of have a higher selling tax is just like you mentioned, Brandon. More like encourage people to hold the token and not to sell the token. And also at the same time, part of that, the holder will just get that kind of reflection, and the part of the percentage of the tax itself is go into the marketing wallet to support the entire ecosystem, as well as expand the ecosystem at any point in time.
Got it. Good. It's always good to have transparency on tokenomics and to kind of understand why they are the way they are, because people always get misconceived about how those things are set up.
Yeah.
Last question before we start wrapping up. I want to know, from a higher 10,000 foot view down, what you think Web3 is going to really look like when it's here. Like right now, we're in this weird period of time where we have everyone with a Web2 mindset trying to understand how to apply what they know to a Web3 type world. And it's going to be very exciting once we get to that point. Everything's fully semantic and everything is decentralized or partly decentralized. What does that world look like for you in maybe 5 or 10 years? And how do you guys see yourselves as a major part of that world?
Right. I think to be honest, I mean, coming from a Web2 environment where very tech driven, very autonomous kind of like industry where we use AI, machine learning. So I mean, back then, 5 years ago or even 8 years ago, when I was still in a college student, we don't even know what exactly AI, artificial intelligence, or the term like machine learning. We don't know at all, or even using all this technology, forecasting on the data analysis and all that. So all this term may become very bizarre to us. So since I stepped into the Web3 space and deep diving into the industry, it's kind of like, I see that there's a lot of potential out there. However, the education in this industry is not enough. Like, let's say, for example, in the school, they don't teach the student all this skill set, where what do you need for the Web3 space, because Web3 basically the people just live in on the internet. Let's say, for example, now I'm based in United States, but maybe a month later I can be based in Japan, but I'm still speaking the Web3 lingo or the Web3 terminologies, right? Because at the end of the day, what we call crypto Twitter or all this is a form connection between the people. So I think I can foresee that the Web3 space is going to slowly, kind of like integrated into our daily life. That's how, Robo Inu Finance, or even at RGI here, we ambition to do is that to put our utility into a daily life where, whether you can go shopping, you can go for traveling, or you can go for a movie theater. You just use our wallets and spend using our token. So this is basically it's just like a simple do a bank to bank transfer, like a P2P or like a cash app kind of applications. But we rather focus a lot on our utility, where we can bring out the mass of adoption, because at the end of the day, whatever that utility you have, the mass adoption is a very, very important. And also, of course, I'm a very a strong believer of having a good education. However, I think that it's not enough right now. I mean, even though I'm currently doing an MBA, but really not many professor or many school actually talk about blockchain. I mean, in the
Mhm.
US or in the Europe, maybe they talk about it, but probably not in Asia. So I think the mentality and the conservativeness is still there. So now I hope that, with the effort of growing the community at RGI here, we actually bring out that message to the community, to the people who are still afraid or fearful of investing into the crypto space. Then I hope that we are able to contribute to that perspective itself, and help the whole Web3 space become a better place just with our very small efforts.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with education. That's definitely an area that's lacking. Even here in the US, most major universities and colleges still don't talk about blockchain, and it's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah,
Um, at this point, I think at MIT, the last statistic I saw was the number one in demand job space in technology that MIT students want to go into is blockchain.
yeah,
And the number one the number one technology job in demand in the workplace in the US is also for blockchain. So it's
yeah.
weird, right? That, these
No,
universities and colleges aren't putting
exactly.
out full course curriculums yet.
And also one thing is that I noticed that back then and today, when people fresh out of college, they try to get into a Google, Facebook, or Microsoft. But then the competition has been becoming very intensive, and with a major layoff in the United States here, then people started looking for more opportunity in the Web3 space, where people just become somebody you don't know. You don't need to know the name, as long as you are a contributor in the DAO, for example, or you are just a content creator, or even you are a software developer, but you can just work remotely anywhere, as long as you can commit under the timing. So I think the whole space is really interesting in that perspective itself. But there's still a lot more thing to learn, because the knowledge gap is there.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping to do with the podcast, is to keep educating people and, giving them information and teaching them from people that are like you. We have a lot of executives and CEOs and founders that come on the show, as well as personalities and influencers and whatnot. And it's a really good place for people to learn and understand the intricacies of this industry. And they can't really get that anywhere else other than maybe every once in a while on social media or in a Twitter tweet.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, so yeah, we're definitely trying to play a major role in that. You also mentioned, wanting RoboInu and some of your other products under RGI to be used in daily life at some point. What do you feel is key to you guys getting there? Is it partnerships with banking institutions and POS systems, or working with small businesses and local companies? Or how do you feel is the best way for you guys to get integrated into daily life like that? It might take some time, but how do you think you get there?
Right, I think you brought up a very good question, and very interesting question as well. And actually, this is the question that I has been asking myself daily, and
Mhm.
so that's the reason why we kind of like have a lot of campaigns, and also thing that going on that really answering those questions. So first of all, I think that two key elements. Number one is community, right? The people, because whatever it is, if you have a very good product but you don't have a real user, you don't have a real people that really the user experience, that okay, hey Brandon, this product is very good, this product is so good that you should try it out, you should download this app, RoboWallet. So this kind of comments, this kind of feedback, it really bring out the mass adoptions. But at the same time, in order to increase the credibility and also the trustworthiness, then probably it comes down to the partnership. So we also already had the partnership with Chain Now and also Now Payment, who are able to support the POS system, or small businesses who are able to to pay the salary in Robo Inu Finance token, or even accept RBIF as a form of payment, whether you have a POS system, or whether you have the what we call the Shopify, or an online gift card and those. So slowly we want to venture into a more more real kind of applications, that, like, let's say for example traveling. So because since COVID is open up the border, everybody started traveling, right? And traveling is part the essential of our daily life. I mean, whether you're gonna commute to one place to another by train, by bus, or by aeroplane. So these are the things that we are looking bring out to the community, the kind of partnership, the kind of can support us in terms of bringing the real utilities to the community. However, this still need to go hand in hand. It means that it needs to go together. It cannot be just one partnership and without community, or with community and without partnership. These two need to come in together as one, so that it can support the entire ecosystem to make it a success.
Well said, well put. It's probably a good place for us to start wrapping up the episode. A lot of good content, a lot of good information in here. So V, where can people go to learn more about RGI and about RoboInu and everything you guys are doing? Do you want them to go to the website? Do you guys have a community on Telegram or Discord? Do you have a blog somewhere? Where do you want to direct people?
Right. You guys can, for easy reference, you can always look at our website at roboglobal.info, and then, or maybe our Twitter as RGI_info. That was when we posted a lot of news, and also, a lot of articles, and you can basically can locate us on a Medium page as well, at our website as well, our Twitter, because we really focus a lot on producing good content, because I think that, besides me being here with Brandon today to talk about our utility, at the same time we also produce a good piece of content by our community member to bring out the message, that's being from the holder transition into a development team. So I think that will give you a very good understanding of the entire ecosystem.
Awesome. What about you? Can we find you on social media anywhere?
Yeah, you can find me at MissV_crypto. So yeah, so that is my Telegram handle as well as my Twitter handle. To give me a
Awesome.
follow.
Yeah, go check out V. Make sure to check out RGI and RoboInu, and be sure to like and subscribe to the show, to the podcast, if you haven't already. V, thank you for taking the time. Really fun episode. Learned a lot about you guys. Very excited now to see like what you guys evolve into and what you guys continue to work on. So yeah, again, thank you for the time to share and kind of educate me and the community on, what you guys are doing.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brandon, and the BlockHash for hosting. Thank you.